Ayun, we are going to review the Rare Beauty Foundation. Yes, foundation na i-review natin. Kasi napansin ko, hindi lahat ng foundation nag-work well sa Philippines dahil sobrang init and sobrang humid dito sa Pilipinas. Tapos, madalas natutunaw, mabilis matanggal sa pawis. So, we wanna try it out if bagay ba ang Rare Beauty sa mga taga-Pilipinas. Okay, I just slapped on Rare Beauty in the shade 210N. So I've did it like really quickly and it is really lightweight. I can't actually feel it. It doesn't feel like I have foundation on, but I'm going to leave in 5. I just slapped it on like 5, so it might not be the best way to put it on, but I'll be back and tell you all about it, if it melts or what happens in a hot humid weather. I'm so excited for Rare Beauty. I have high expectations because a lot of people, like makeup artists, did say that this was one of the best lightweight makeup, and yes, it is lightweight makeup, but I want to know if it will be okay to wear in the Philippines, so be back. I don't have a lot of time, so I want to test out if it's going to melt, if it's like worth it in the Philippines, if it's going to melt, because not a lot of foundation works in the Philippines, so I'm going to try it out. It's my first time and I'm going out, so I have like a couple minutes just to do this right. It has good coverage and it's really lightweight, which I like. I think it's going to be my new favorite foundation if it doesn't melt. Okay, I'm back. There's a lot of foundation on my mask, but that's expected because I did not set my face and I was in such a rush that I just had to quickly run out and put the mask on. So as expected, the foundation would transfer much easier than opposed to waiting a couple of minutes and putting powder on. And then one thing I noticed is that since my mask is only covering half my face, there's a difference between the foundation below and on my forehead. On my forehead, it seems a lot normal. It's honestly, I like how it is on my forehead. It's still natural and it's still there. It didn't clump up and it's pretty okay. But the problem is, I guess when you exhale inside your mask, of course there would be a lot more, what do you call this, sweaty. You get sweatier with a mask on. I'm very dewy on my nose and cheeks area as opposed to my forehead area, and I am a very oily person, especially when it comes to the T-zone. So if you compare my nose to my forehead's a lot more matte, and I guess on my chin and on my stash there's a lot of clumping up. There's a lot of clumping up on the masked area. I did put on their highlighter and it's still there, but the foundation is kind of, well, in other words, I think I sweated it out. So I guess that's that. So far I do really like how it feels, especially on the first try. It is very lightweight. Again, that's one of the key points of Rare Beauty's foundation on this very humid weather. So I'll see you in a little bit, but so far so good. Most of my foundations do react the same way. It clumps up on a masked area. I probably should have like just put foundation on the upper part of my face, and since nobody would even see the lower half of your face, so it is pretty much useless to put foundation on this area. But then again, I wanted to try how Rare Beauty foundation reacts to the masked area, where it's a lot more humid and, you know, hotter opposed to the other areas of the face. So far so good. And I'm not saying that because I'm biased. Yes, Selena Gomez is my favorite person in the entire world, but I really like the foundation. So believe it or not, I'm actually pretty happy. I've decided to touch up half of my face so we can see the difference. This one is the situation earlier where we had a mask and I sweated the foundation off, so it's very dewy, but the highlighter is kind of still on. The forehead remains the same, and then for this side of the face you can see it's a lot better. I've applied the foundation and did set it with some loose powder, so it's a lot matte and it's a lot cleaner compared to this one. Again, if you could see my footage earlier, you can see some pimples. Right now it's a lot more covered. It doesn't have a very dense coverage, but since it's lightweight, it did kind of like remove these spots that I have here, because most of my scars are symmetrical to both cheeks. Most likely, I have a feeling my nose is going to be really oily. You can see here, you can see all the oils. Over here, it's matte because of the powder and the touch-up. Okay, the lighting is so much better here. This side of my face is the one that I touched up 3 hours ago, and then this side of my face is the one that has little to no foundation because of the sweat, the mask, and you know, all of the factors that happened a while ago. There's like less gas. I do have pimples that's like not related to the foundation. It's my skin's problem, so kindly ignore that. But you can see that the coverage is still kind of there. Forehead is okay. It's not that oily. Yeah, it's not that oily. It's still a little bit more matte than opposed to not wearing anything at all. I've observed that all of my foundations have this problem, and I think it's my skin's problem. That's why my makeup clumps up over here. I don't know if you could see it, but like it's on my pores. You can see dots clearly. You could, but in real life, if you could see me up front, you can see that I've been wearing foundation. But it's only on my nose area because that's like one of the biggest problems that I have, because it's very pory and it's very oily. It has a lot of problems and can't seem to fix that. I think the main question that we want to answer here is it worth buying when you're in the Philippines and the weather is super hot and humid? Mabilis ba siyang matanggal kapag pinawisan ka? And worth it ba siya knowing the price? First of all, I think okay siya sa Philippines. Kapag nagko-commute ka, may chance na mawala or matanggal dahil sa pawis, knowing na kung saan ka pupunta, and especially when you're wearing a mask. So, matanggal talaga siya when it comes to wearing a mask unless you can set it with powder. That was my gate. I think it's the same with the other foundations na kapag nilagay mo, may chance matanggal talaga siya, may chance mag-clump up siya, depende sa skin mo. But personally, I think yung pinaka-okay sa Rare Beauty foundation is its lightweightness nga talaga. Just like all the makeup artists or yung mga tao na nag-review ng foundation na to, ang ganda niya dahil sobrang lightweight. Kapag nilagay mo siya, hindi mo siya ma-feel na may nilagay ka sa mukha mo, which is one of the biggest things that I want. Especially na ang init-init sa Philippines, tapos maglalagay ka pa ng something creamy or thick on top. Feel mo na nagka-clog up yung pores mo, feel mo na parang hindi na nakakahinga yung skin mo sa face, tapos lalo ka pang papawisan. With this one, I don't feel like naka-clog yung pores ko. I don't feel na parang may another layer of mask that I'm wearing. Then again, it does still clump up a little bit less than the normal foundation dahil lang hindi ganun kaganda yung skin ko. And I think the shade is pretty okay. Medyo mahirap lang hulaan kung ano shade mo, especially when there's like so many shades. You gotta know if you're a cool tone, a warm tone, or a neutral tone. I chose the neutral tone para lang safe. I am either a neutral or a warm, pero pinili ko na lang neutral. And then, nahula na lang ako sa shades. I go for the lighter one instead of a darker one, since the first week nung nag-release yung Rare Beauty, maraming nagreklamo na mas dark yung shades na na-receive nila than they expected. So, if you're going to buy Rare Beauty, do go for a lighter shade. And I think it's worth the money dahil somehow mas mura siya than the other brands of foundation. I don't think it's super cheap, but I think it is at the right price for that kind of foundation. I don't think you actually need a concealer unless gusto mo talaga like full coverage makeup. I'm going to wash off my face finally after having it on for a long while. I still really like it. If you want a more dewy effect, don't add more powder to it kasi yung finish niya talaga is dewy. But I like mine matte kasi sobrang oily face ko and I don't want that kind of shine. If naglagay ako ng shine, feel ko parang oil siya, hindi ako marunong. I don't know how to make it dewy without making it seem oily at the same time. Actually, pinapawisan na ako. Pag ganoon mo, makikita mo na yung pawis ko. Pero, ayan, strong pa siya. Nandiyan pa siya. So, most likely, if you're going to the office and you're going to use Rare Beauty, tapos magka-commute ka, touch up lang pagdating sa office. I don't think masisira yung whole look mo. That's my opinion. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and don't forget to hit subscribe and hit that notification bell for more updates. See you guys in the next video. Bye!